Well, hi there, Jerry Hancock again with One-on-One, a look at topics that are important to men. Today we're going to be talking about mentoring and being mentored and how you can get the most out of both of those experiences. As a man, I think it's important that you think about this idea and think about how you might find help from other men, as a mentee, as we call it, and how you might be a mentor to other people, because you do have experience and expertise that you've learned along the way, and it's good to share that with other men who may be struggling with those kinds of things. You know, as a young married man, I really wish I had had someone to sit down and talk to me about how do you handle this thing of family, and how do you handle all the issues that come up in a marriage, and how do you deal with the relationship stuff with your new wife and all those. My father died when I was 10 years old, so I didn't get much of a education about what it was like to be a man, and especially how to handle conflict. I never saw my father handle much conflict with my mom. He was pretty much a conflict avoider, what little bit I did see. But, you know, it would have been helpful to have had someone to pull me aside and say, hey, Jerry, here's the way you do this. Here's the way you make this work. Here's the way you bring about change in a family or in an individual without offending them or without degrading them in some way. Here's how relationships actually work, and here's the glue that holds them together. That would have been nice to have had as a mentor, someone to show me the way. And this is true as I went into my first, second, third job. I mean, I was learning as I went. I had my own boss, of course, who told me the way things were to be done, but nobody told me how to get along, how to handle people, how to use relationships to strengthen connections with each other, how to negotiate differences, and all those tough things that are required in order to be a good manager, and I think are required in order to be a successful leader or a successful husband or father or anything else for that matter. So if you don't have a mentor, I'm going to suggest that you seek one out. And it's easy to do. Just ask somebody that you've got some respect for. Ask them to go to breakfast with you and talk about stuff. And when you get in front of this person, ask them the hard questions. I mean, don't just talk about sex and sports and the things that guys normally talk about. Ask a tough question like, hey, I'm having problems dealing with teenagers. How did you handle teenagers when you were raising your family? Questions like that. Believe me, these guys are willing to share, because the lessons they've learned, they learned the hard way. Maybe they had a mentor, maybe they did not, but they've learned the hard way, and they're willing to share what they've learned because they know it'll make life easier for somebody else. And I think down deep we're all about that. We all want to do what we can to make someone else's life easier. Now, the second half of this question of mentor is, can you be a mentor for someone else? Can you use the skills and talents and business expertise or whatever you've already accumulated so far, can you use that to help somebody else who may be struggling? And furthermore, would you be assertive or proactive about offering that help to somebody? Maybe somebody else needs that, and you can tell that they need that in the way they're operating their lives or the problems that they seem to have, but they are not going to ask you. Maybe they're embarrassed to ask you, or they're shy about asking for help. So how could you offer how could you offer that kind of help in a way that doesn't offend and that doesn't imply that they don't know how to manage it themselves, but it's just a friendly gesture? Think about that for a moment. You could invite this person to breakfast or lunch or something, and then along the way say, by the way, if I can ever be of help to you in talking about family stuff, I've been there, done that. I know a little bit about some of those problems, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Just that comment gets you away from the trivial stuff that we typically talk about and talk about something more meaningful. A lot of men, I know I would have, jumped at the chance to talk about that and to get somebody else's input and experience and use that in their own management of their own family. So you have some skills to offer, and you need some skills from others. That's sort of the way the world works, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, one of the most valid definitions of spirituality, I think, is getting outside yourself. And you get outside yourself by offering to do something for someone else. And so in this case, you're offering a valuable piece of information or piece of experience to someone else in a way that is helpful and is friendly and that will genuinely bring about an improvement in their life. And why would they not accept that? Why would they not say yes to that? And if they do have a problem with that, if they don't seem receptive, just leave it at that. You don't have to push, and give it a chance to be like a seed and grow a little bit and see if they maybe change their mind down the road and come back to you and say, you know, that offer you made, I'd like to take you up on that. Because it's very valuable to have someone to talk to. And while we're on that subject, I just want to say that it's important to have other male friends that we can talk openly to. I'm going to tell you something. I've run these groups of men, and I said in one of the classes, do you guys even know who your wife would call to carry your casket into the church if you died? Who are the 6 men that are closest to you that your wife would call to be pallbearers at your funeral? And what's interesting is most men don't know the answer to that. They don't have 6 close friends, certainly not 6 close friends that they're willing to open up and talk to. And yet, think about the opportunities that you're missing by not doing that. Women, for example, do that sort of naturally. You get 2 women together, and within 30 minutes, they know everything about each other. Men get together for 30 minutes, and they know nothing about each other. They're still sort of standoffish. And I think we pay for that in terms of loneliness and distance and isolation and not feeling like we have the resources to run our lives the way we know they should be run. Anyway, that's a little side message, but it's all part of the mentoring process. It's all part of learning how to live this life to its fullest and be the kind of person that you want to be, and to help someone else do that along the way. There's a lot more stuff about this on the website, meninbalance.org, and the radio station, meninbalance.org/radio, has interviews and discussions 24/7 about things that are important like this. And if you like what you're hearing on these kind of one-on-one discussions, give us a like and subscribe so you'll know when we put out a new video, because I think it's helpful to have this kind of information as you navigate through the course of your daily life. I'm Jerry Hancock. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.